Welcome back to another Rise of Kings video. Today I'm going to be showing off many things that are very exciting, one of which is finally the release of my Discord server, Pethrus's Deadweight Farmers, which, we're all deadweight here, let's be honest. And the next important thing, which is why you click this video, is, of course, the developer feedback that they just released and the Korean Community Gathering Q&A, which has a lot of interesting things, like 40 points. So let's just talk about this, right? We'll just go one by one, and we'll go through it. A lot of really good stuff in here. So first off, just to establish how this works, this is our question as a community, and this is their answer. So we say the recent matchmaking Q&A said that recent peak power is one of the factors, but customer service said it doesn't matter. So what's going on? Basically, they say relatively a meaningless answer, honestly, where they basically go that it's a little bit complicated and we're refining the algorithm. It doesn't use power at all, but it may still do it. So I wouldn't worry about it. Honestly, as important as matchmaking is, we're never going to have a clear answer on that. So let's just, honestly, for now, until we get a good answer, let's just leave it there. Please add VIP points alongside gold heads and existing rewards to more than gems. This is extremely helpful for new players and keeps the VIP points of old players ticking too. Once we hit VIP 16, they all go into materials. This adds a bit more value to the event. So I never honestly thought of adding value to more than gems, but I guess it's good that they're reviewing the VIP point system, because right now I need 3 million VIP to get to the next tier, which just seems like I'll never hit it. Daily quest, add one sovereign key as a reward. We'll make changes according to it to improve the daily quest rewards in SOC. Honestly, another thing I never thought of, we already get, besides the equipment key in there, we get 100 gems, you get some AP pots, things like that. If they had a sovereign key, the daily quests are way better. And they're already good is kind of my point. So I will happily accept that if that is a change they make. So the Dark Fortress event, I've made a video about that, and terrible rewards, literally no reason to play unless you get 8 strong rallies going to keep them alive for a few 5-minute speed-ups. Definitely agree with that. Thank you for your feedback. We'll adjust the difficulty and improve the rewards. Love that. They're not just saying thanks for the feedback. They're saying we will do something about it. So good. And both difficulty and rewards. So that's cool. This, I honestly don't care. So yes, they're developing it, but whatever. Basically, they're just saying, can we make it easier to see the stats of talent trees? I guess it's important, but I don't personally care too much. I'm kind of surprised 37 upvotes. It's nice, but whatever. This, though, we can skip the tutorial, is a crazy thing that is so needed. For those of us who have made a lot of farms, or you're making a city to scout out a kingdom, things like that, you add like 10 minutes of just miserable clicking through tutorials you don't care about. So that's super nice. Barb keep pits in the home kingdom. I think we all know about that. It's, basically if you complete a barb camp, or barb keep rather, you get, I think 3 or 4 random resource nodes as if it's an alliance pit, which is really great. It's a great addition they did recently. So add that to the home kingdom. We'll make changes accordingly. Sounds like they're doing it. Love that. Home kingdom coalitions. Allow a home kingdom coalition to be made by the alliance holding the Lost Temple, giving all the same perks as a coalition in Lost Kingdom. Alliance jumping in home kingdom can be a hassle when needing quick access to different zones. So I like that a lot. I think that the main reason I do like this, I've talked about this on stream a lot recently, which is that when you're a young leader, meaning a young kingdom leader, KvK 1, KvK 2, these type of things, you don't learn about coalitions. And so basically, what I'm saying is that you enter more important KvKs when you have camps and stuff later on in the game with no idea how to manage a coalition. And, you rely on the older kingdoms to teach you, etc. But I think it would be nice to start teaching. And I've actually talked about that, ironically, on stream, and I never even saw this. So that's a funny coincidence. KvK with too many kingdoms in one camp, huge issue for SOC, for lower seeds specifically. Don't put 7 kingdoms in one camp. I mean, just looking quickly, right? I've already found like a whole bunch of KvKs, but this is an example. One of the problems you have when you have these many kingdoms in one camp is rewards. Like, even if you win a KvK, not every kingdom can fit in your coalition at the end. So you create a big issue where some of you are going to fight for nothing, right? Because you won't be in the coalition. So definitely a problem that needs addressing. But unfortunately, they say we plan to introduce a mini season where the number of kingdoms will be reduced. And you can see the downvotes, right? And I'll actually add into that. That is just not a solution to the question being asked. That is not a solution to this problem. That's just an unfortunate thing. Like, you can only have 5 kings in a coalition at the end. Don't put 7 kings in one camp. This doesn't change anything. It basically is saying, yeah, we're going to keep the problem and add a mini season that doesn't have that problem. That's not it. Search button, add a search button for forts. Everyone's been asking for this for God knows how many years. I'll be the 50th upvote. They're finally doing it. Love that they have an exact time for us to kind of see it. Great stuff. Passports, making migration easier. I don't care about this. I feel like they've done so much to make it easier. I don't really think that's needed. Now we're on to the specific community gathering Q&A. Are there any plans to fix unfair KvK matchups? And we see that a lot, right? And a big issue with that is, we can't see what's behind it, so we don't know why they're doing it. And then with that said, they say they're working to balance camps, aiming to make, too strong, too weak, which is fine. That's fine. Because that way, you get a strong ally is a weak, a strong ally is a weak, and then they fight. The other issue with that is also where they're put in the map. So hopefully they'll fix that too. Basically, right, if you're diagonal of the strong ones, it means that the strong always basically bullies the weak for a while. So that's kind of an issue. You need to put the strong next to the strong. Please add more rewards for conquest coins and improve the KvK rewards. That's kind of interesting. Right now, they aren't very appealing. We will continue improving season rewards, adding more items for conquest coins, new city skins. I like this a lot, actually. I'm a big fan of this, especially new city skins. Before I got my Zenith one, I was begging for this. And, now that I have a free-to-play account, this could be potentially big. But the one issue I will say is that they've been saying this for a long time, and this doesn't really give me any sense of a time span, so that's a little concerning. Current KvK times are tough for working players in Asia. Any plan to fix it? It's tough for... I can't even play my Kingsland. It opens at 2:54 a.m. So I don't know what this is about. That's the opposite for my KvK. Make the first Chronicle chapter in the scenario mandatory, and adjust subsequent passes so that all except Pass 4, which is Zone 5 fight for a bunch of KvKs, will open at a fixed time of UTC 1300. That doesn't help me at all. I guess it helps the Asian kingdoms, but that doesn't help me. In fact, that actually hurts me. So that sucks. That's the start of my workday. So that's unfortunate. Really what they need to do here, in my opinion, isn't really necessarily a time change, but yes, you need a time that isn't in the middle of the night for everyone. But you also need to adjust the days. If it was even 2 a.m. on a Saturday, I would make it work. But it's 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, on a Thursday. Can't do that. So that's an issue. And honestly, all these people doing love here, I'm not going to add a reaction, but that's unfortunate. Add a voting feature, which is pretty interesting. But again, that's all the times. I think the times are a good route to go, but I don't think it fixes it. This is massive. Please remove the healing restrictions. Another one where I think they totally missed the point. All these people that liked it, I think aren't really paying attention, honestly. So the point of helps, right, and removing the restriction doesn't help your resources, such as providing extra free healing. Yeah, it's kind of free, but healing costs, these aren't referring to resources, right? So all this is addressing is your speed up consumption. And so this is what I meant to highlight. The high resource consumption of the current KvK, which has led for players to reduce the burden. This has nothing to do with resources, unless I'm crazy, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but helps just reduce speed ups, which is very important, very, very important. I myself do, 2.5k healing, 3k healing, whatever, until you hit that 1,000 helps, but this is not the issue. So these 5 people that liked it, I don't really understand, but whatever. So too many pilots in the game, do you have a solution to it? They're soon going to run a test for the War Frenzy, 16 hours. We expect fewer than 1% of players. That's super interesting. And something we've also been waiting for. And I'll upvote it. Ooh, is that Omniarch too? I'm just curious. Yeah, it was. Look at that. Because basically, this is what I was asking for in my video on the topic, is show us some data. Tell us some data of how many players is this actually going to affect. And they're saying it's going to affect less than 1%. So that's super, super interesting. The other thing that I will say is that I'm kind of tired of them not giving us dates or update numbers, right? Like, when is this going to come out? What is soon? Define soon, right? That is my point. Please improve the leaderboard system. That's like the last of my concerns right now. Plan to optimize it, including additional ones. Yeah, I don't care. It's just so far down on my list of priorities, unless I'm misunderstanding it. After new formations are released, will there be adjustments to to existing ones? So this is another answer I really hate, and I will be happy to downvote it. Who upvoted this? Omniarch. What the hell? But whatever. He has good takes, but I don't get it here. So let me read it. To honor the time and effort our governors dedicate to developing their formations, we refrain from making changes to formations that are already live. Design and development of new formations is actively in progress. Formations emphasizing skill damage, smite damage, and combo attack damage are expected to roll out gradually in the first half of 2026. So, two big things here. First off, this. Originally, they had told us December is the new skill damage formation. So that means they delayed it, they pushed it back. I'm plenty happy about that, actually, so that's good. This is totally BS, honestly. To honor that they're not going to change it. You're not changing it, right? You're not changing it, you're adjusting it. And so what that means is if skill damage is, 5% with wedge or whatever it is, I think it's 5%, maybe it's 10, who knows. And they come out with one that's 15%, make the existing wedge 15 or make it 12 and a half. Obviously they can't make it 15 or it's the same, but make it 12 and a half or something that's in the same realm of possibility. You're not honoring our time and effort when you're just making new formations that are better. So that's just completely wrong in my eyes. I don't really understand. Maybe OmniArc uploaded it because of this, which is totally a win in my eyes. So I could see that. Attack March is great, but there's still issues. I don't care, honestly. In the new Season of Conquest enhancements, garrison troops take more damage than rally troops. Why is that? Basically, they say we noticed some issues. We found that the overall difficulty faced by the attacking side is higher than we expected. To bring the battlefield back to a more balanced state, we've made some adjustments to the story enhancements and crystal tech. We hope everyone can enjoy it in a more balanced environment. That kind of doesn't address the question. They just say they made the rallies easier, but it doesn't tell us like what they specifically adjusted statistically. So that's unfortunate. The current permissions for kings or R4s are too limited. We'll be adding more king powers and rewards in the future, such as new achievement rewards for kings and R4s, new king skills, and allowing kings to choose custom buffs. Wow, that's super cool. I like that a lot. I'll like that. The watchlist skill has already been optimized. The watchlist is awful. They need to refine that, but whatever. Chat scrolling, I don't even know what that is. Are there plans to rework alliance skills? Oh god, this is so bad. For example, replacing Nature's Gift with some skills of Tides of War, or adding features like reduced waiting time. Wait, wow, they edited it. Whoa, that's so crazy. So before they edited this, I saw it. Oh my god. So it said something about a flux skill, and I bet you that's why these people reacted this way. So they mentioned a flux skill. So I don't know what that meant, but they edited it out. Wow, that's so crazy. They did it at 8:50 a.m., so I didn't get that. Wow, that's so wild. I don't know what that means, but new skills. One of them they mentioned was a flux skill. Don't know what it meant. Can the achievement system be further optimized? We'll be optimizing it, whatever. This is funny. Now the engineering commanders have been released. Why aren't there any Zenith for Siege? Obviously, leadership affects them, but they're asking for Siege specifically. We'll consider adding Zenith skins. Wow, 47 people said clown. That's crazy. Honestly, as much as I get it, I also do think that this is obvious. I mean, we have Siege players, we have Siege commanders, we have people investing in Siege. Why wouldn't we have a Zenith for it? But at the same time, I don't really care. I'm not pushing Zenith on my free-to-play that is going with Siege, so it's not very important for me. All the inscribed V formation stuff is normal damage, but you have a couple that do skill damage, so it's not very meaningful. We'll consider adjustments optimizations on future circumstances. The current boost to these is because for a long time there was a strict need to maintain a balance and strength between ranged and melee, which I think there still is, right? As the battlefield continues to evolve, we may also introduce updates to this. So it's interesting also that they're saying they are going to be willing to change this, but they weren't willing up there to change the other formation stuff. Kind of hypocritical, honestly. Need a feature to automatically promote people to R4. Yes, that would be so nice. It is currently under development, and we will officially launch this feature later. Huge win. Massive win right there. That's a huge change for us. Love that. During joining rallies or garrisons, please add the tier setting. In the rally and defense battlefield, if lower tier players join, it's really tiring to find them one by one. They will make modifications to. Are they? Oh, so I guess they're referring to people who join with like tier 1 or something, or tier 2 troops when you obviously want tier 5 and tier 4. So that's interesting. Yeah, that's just an interesting feature. They're gonna make modifications to it. Okay. Daily special offer is the only method to get this guy. Are there any plans to add other methods? The methods will be added. Yes. Okay. Sounds good. I don't really care about him at all, but okay. In the future, will the meta of infantry... Ooh, this is a very interesting question. So, will infantry be smite, cav be combo, archers be healing skills? I would have typed skill damage there, but that's interesting. If so, will archer healing be valued again in the future? Because currently, basically, they're referring to Shajar, who had healing. So, there will be more attempts with the healing system in the future, but we cannot guarantee it will definitely be applied to archers. It may be applied to other troop types. Shajar has both healing and skill damage capabilities because we want her to be viable in both lineups. So they didn't really answer the question as far as will the whole meta be maintained. I think the answer is no, because they're going to want us to force to invest in multiple places, unfortunately. What I also think is interesting is that they are kind of affirming that it's not really healing, but it's skill damage for archers, as we kind of expect. But yeah, that's not the best you know answer to the question, because they ignored the first part, which is the important part. You can see the reactions here, right? So there was a brief mention last year about tier 6. Yeah, that was a survey. I answered it. A bunch of people answered it. Are there any plans for it? There are absolutely no current plans for it. Love it. And you could see of all the things we've seen, 74 upvotes now. Really great. That's great. I'm very happy about that. Animated avatar frames already released. Is the development of animated wow, that's interesting. Underway. We are not currently doing it, but this is indeed a great suggestion that we will consider. So I guess they basically didn't think about it. I don't care at all about cosmetics. That means literally nothing to me. But yeah, so that brings it to an end of all the Q&A stuff. A lot of interesting stuff in there, a lot of things that, are going to release. Also, a lot of things that are just confirmations. I mean, I'm happy to hear that they delayed the skill damage. I was very unhappy to hear that they randomly dropped the event in game, without any warning, basically, that this thing, I haven't even looked at it yet, but that was kind of random. I'm going to be streaming it in a moment. I also hate this stupid theme. Not that I'm buying it, but I really hate these frames and things that take up your photo slot. But that's just, my own opinion for another day. But yeah, if you've liked this video, if you got something of value, like, subscribe. It's a bit of a longer video, but, I feel like that was necessary to really go over everything successfully. But yeah, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the near future.